We also have Tim Buckley, Chief Meteorologist of WFMY in Greensboro. Tim, we have on the screen right now what some of the graphics you've been putting out earlier. Can you talk to us a little bit about what you're expecting in the Triad?
Yeah. Hey guys, thanks for having me on. So here in the Piedmont, it's kind of similar to what Brad was saying and what Robbie was saying over in the upstate. I think we're all kind of in the same boat here, where this storm, kind of like a winter storm almost, they always hug the 85 corridor some way. That's the way it's tracking here. And part of the reason is, I've been describing it to my viewers as like a 1-2 effect. We have the cold front coming in, and we also have this tropical system that's getting sucked up into it and pushed along. A lot of times, these fronts can accentuate or enhance, whatever you want to call it, the rainfall. We've seen this with many other tropical systems. And with that, we really think that there's good potential here of everybody seeing widespread 2, 3, 4, even 5 or 6 inches of rainfall. And I often think people may not have a good idea of what that means. So I was looking up some numbers just in terms of rainfall perspective for our area. So here in Greensboro, if you look at PTI, we've had one day this year with over 3 inches of rainfall. We've had only 4 days with over 2 inches. So tomorrow is very likely going to be our wettest day of the year. And if you look historically, we've only ever had 5 inches or more of rain in a single day, just 3 times. If you expand that out to a 2-day total, maybe there are 24-hour issues here or there. There's only been 22 times. So this is pretty rare stuff. If we get 5 inches of rain, that's a big deal. Now, we have been dry this month so far, but it's been a wet year. And there's only so many places to put that water, especially in urban areas. So here in Greensboro, we know our trouble spots. We're going to be watching Latham Park. We're going to be watching Buffalo Creek. These areas, and everyone who lives in any sort of small town, you all know your flooding trouble spots. And those spots that have trouble flooding, they're probably going to have trouble tomorrow. We're really highlighting that 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. time frame, starting tomorrow afternoon, going into the evening and overnight. That's kind of when we get the wallop of the heaviest rain. But if anything, it looks like the models might be starting to speed it up a little bit, so that Friday is mainly a dry setup. So hopefully we can kick it out of here pretty quickly. But it is going to be ugly. It's just kind of how ugly will it be? It's going to be pretty ugly with that rainfall coming up tomorrow.
Scotty, I think you had a question.
Yeah, sorry, Tim. I've got 2 screens working here. You were talking about that. You guys have not been as wet there in the Triad, but it seems like the Greensboro to Raleigh corridor, when you see these heavier rain events, I mean, you guys do see a lot of flooding. What are you telling your folks tonight, in the Triad there from Greensboro, Winston-Salem, all even over towards the Raleigh area to get prepared? I mean, I'm sure here in the foothills, we've started to see some leaves start to come down, maybe some things you can do around the house to keep your place as dry as possible.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, at this point, right, it's already dark and tomorrow morning is already going to be wet. So you're not out of time, but you are going to get wet if you do these preps tomorrow morning. But, Brad had tweeted the other day, really good point, clear out the gutters, the downspouts, the storm drains, those kind of things. If you have drainage problems, you want to set yourself up to be in the best position possible with that rain coming down tomorrow. So that might still be a good thing for folks to do. But the biggest danger with flash flooding is just people getting caught on the roads in bad situations. So when it's really rough in the late afternoon and the evening, right around the commute, if you can avoid driving, or especially if you can avoid the typical trouble spots that in your community, I'd recommend doing that, because 9 out of 10 times the injuries, the fatalities, or just the water rescues that we see are cars driving into the water. And everyone always shakes their head. That could never be me. That could never be me. When you're on the road, sometimes you get put in these tough situations where you got to make tricky decisions, and sometimes you make the bad one. So the easiest one is just to not be on the roads if you don't have to be when it's really coming down a lot. And it will be coming down a lot tomorrow afternoon.